Hello everyone, it's Meg. Welcome to another time-lapse video. Just another video I hope will give you lots of inspiration for your own creative building. I haven't had as much time lately to be building in creative, but this build competition that was hosted recently on Builder's Refuge was a good excuse to actually do something creative in a limited amount of time. The contest lasted for 2 weeks with the theme of harmony, and you could do it solos or duos, and yeah, that's basically it. Sean Bitts, another content creator, you may have heard of him, he was the one who wanted to do this competition with me, so here I am with this time lapse for you to enjoy. So the main thing that I was working on in this build was going to be a large peacock. It's basically the focal point of the build, and I will get into that later, but to build this peacock, it was very large. It was a very large bird. I relied heavily on very quick commands like loft and spike and other commands like that really did make the process go a lot faster. That's basically what you see me doing to create these feathers. Each feather was created individually with a separate loft command. However, I did go in a little bit and touch things up by hand. You can never get it 100% right with just a command, so I always go back and touch things up by hand. While shaping is one of the most critical things for creating organics, coloring for me is the most difficult. I probably spent most of my time just coloring these wings to make sure that they actually looked somewhat decent. If you look up a photo of a peacock, they have very textured parts of their wing, and I was trying to capture that in Minecraft, but it was just looking very noisy and not quite right. I wasn't extremely happy with how it was looking, but sometimes it's good to go out of your comfort zone just a little bit just to see if it actually does work out, which in the end I think it did. While I was busy building the peacock, Sean Bitts was busy building some terrain and structure that was going to be located beneath the peacock. If you would like to see his process in more detail, he has a video on his channel that you can also check out. I will provide a link for it somewhere. But just like magic, we ended up with these two beautiful islands and a lovely ocean beneath. I did help with the ocean, I will say. And then we got busy bringing all these pieces together. The overall idea was to have the peacock's tail kind of transform into these trees that were going to flow down the sides of the mountain, harmonizing with the landscape. Get it? So while I was working on the trees/tail, Sean was working on some structure to go along with it. And since these trees are a part of the tail, we have to make sure they are colored like a peacock's tail. So this was a bit challenging to try and make them detailed, but not too detailed. These trees at the top of the mountain, I needed to blend really nicely with the peacock's tail, so I ended up doing them all by hand. Later on, I did end up using schematic brushes for the trees that are spread all over the island. Let's go see what Sean is up to. Oh, he's working on some awesome Asian structures to go along with this build. I can't really give you much detail again on his thought process. You have to watch his video to find that out, but I did capture a few clips of him building as well. I love getting to this stage of a build because the more you have down, the more that you can see the direction the build is going, and the more you are excited to get it finished. Sometimes it's hard to stay motivated when building, but the more you keep going and keep at it, and you start to slowly see it come together, that's when it really gets exciting and it pushes you to finish it. Now back to the peacock to finish texturing it. I am not done with it yet. I thought it would be cool to really further this idea that the bird is a part of the trees, to have the branches actually growing up the sides of it. Not gonna lie, it was also just a method for me to hide the ugliness of the wings under here. If you ever find a part of your build is just not looking good to you, think of some creative ways to add something on top of it to cover it up. Then I just had to finish out the peacock with a face, additional coloring and details, legs, etc. I'm not going to get into too much detail on all the different things because you can see it for yourself. But now I just want to mention, even though we didn't place in the top 3, or in the top 10 for that matter, we still had a lot of fun building it and just working together to create something. Although I am not surprised we didn't place because there were so many other amazing builds out there. Our build was pretty simple compared to a lot of the plots in this contest. Simplicity can be a good thing, but I feel like our plot was mainly lacking a good story and wasn't communicating anything really. To instantly understand what the plot is communicating, I think, is the most important thing, and it's something that I struggle with and something we failed to do with this plot, which is probably the reason we didn't rank very high. But I still like this build we made. It still did turn out really nice, and I even did do a render of it at the end, so you of course will get to see that. If you would like to see all of the other amazing plots though, I will leave some details in the description and you can go check them out for yourself. You totally should, because they're way better than this one. But I hope you enjoyed this and I hope it was able to inspire you in some way, and I will see you again some other time.